MySQL is a structured query language like database management and DBMS, like queries we have to procedures and where we have to store the data in the database. When can we fetch the data using the queries in MySQL? That is like a structured query language. It is very compatible with the SQL. Standard SQL means a structured query language. MySQL we have frequently used in PHP, Perl, and more compatible with the programming languages like Linux, Windows, operating systems, and all. And most of the things we have used the MySQL in PHP for in our web development. Okay, most of the keys, commands, functions, lot of is there in the MySQL. Mainly MySQL commands. What are the commands we have to use and fetch the data in the database? First, we will perform the lot of operations in the existing database. Like these SQL commands are categorized into 5. Those are DDL, DML, DQL, DCL, and TCL. DDL means a data definition language. In that, we have used the create, update, and create database, how to create the database and how to update it, how to getting the data in the database. And DQL. DQL means data query language. In this DQL, we have used the select query. For that, we have to select whatever the database, whatever is there in the tables, which data is there. Like if we have a employee data, in that employee we have employee ID, employee name, employee salary, where he was working, like that. In that we have to get all the information about the table. And DML. DML means data manipulation language. In that we used create, update, like that. We have to update the data and create the tables, and we need to delete or alter. Alter means adding or modifying the data. And then next DCL. DCL means data control language. In that we have save points, controls, whatever the controls is there, locking system and all. And then TCL. TCL means transaction control language. In that we will use the commands like rollback, save point, commit. These commands we are used in the TCL. These are the main commands in the MySQL. In that, this is the brief information about the SQL commands. In the DDL, we use create, drop, alter, truncate. And in the DML, we use insert, update, delete. These are the queries. Queries we use it to fetch the data from the database. And TCL, like that. TCL means commit. Commands, these we used in the Linux, Unix operating systems. And DQL, select. Select means we will fetch all the data. And DCL, grant and revoke. We will give the permissions to the database. And next, what are the features in the MySQL? In this, MySQL provides more data security, scalability, and the high performance. And it supports the lot of programming languages like Java, C, C++. In all the languages, it will support the MySQL. And it is used the complex web applications also. And we use the MySQL using the workbench. Workbench means we will create this is the workbench. In that we will create the databases, tables, and all those things. And then MySQL security. How the security provides the MySQL. It protects the data, like it will encrypt the data and give the access to the controller, and authentication provides to the user. And it can be used to create the web applications also. Securely it provides the web applications. And SSL or TL protocol, security protocols. It supports the security protocols and you ensure the data to kept the secure and confidential. And then how to create the database. We are using the SQL relation using the creating database. Create database and database name like this. I will show you how to create the database. Create database and database name. Here the database name is created. We will see how the database is created or not. Show databases is the command to show how many databases in the database system. See here, test is the database is created. In that, we will create the tables like create table. Table name is em person. Person. In that, lot of columns is there like ID, name. ID, we will take the data type, integer, varchar, like that. See how the data table is created. Create table, table name, columns like ID, name, city, salary, like that. And the data type is a column having the particular unique ID only. That we will use that data type like integer, varchar, strings, like that. We are using the data types. After creating the table, if we have any modifications like we have to drop some columns or we have to modify some columns, rename the table, we are using the drop and alter. Drop attribute and alter attribute. Drop table means delete all the information or else drop the relation between the database and the table. And alter table means adding the attributes and remove, like adding attributes, add one more column to the table, we use the add attribute. Drop means we use drop the entire table in the database. And the rename means we need to rename the table name or column name. We are using the rename attribute. And modify means we need to modify anything like a column having some spelling mistakes or anything we need to modify, we use the modify attribute. Previously, we have seen here data types is there. No, in the data types, we have lot of keys using the type keys. Uh, type data types means integer, varchar, those are data types. In that, we have used the lot of keys like a primary key, candidate key, foreign key, super key, alternate key, composite key, and all. A primary key means we use it to identify the one and only one instance in the entire unique key. We have to fetch only one and only key is there. Like employee ID is having only one ID for every person. No more multiple keys we are not used multiple numbers. For one person, we have used only one employee ID like that. And then candidate key. Candidate key is means a set of attributes that can identify the one or more attributes is there. In that we have used only one candidate key. Except primary key, all the keys are like a candidate keys. For example, candidate key means we have employee table. In that employee ID, employee name, address, passport number, license number. These are the columns we have. In that employee name similar data, but passport number, license number, these are different. Employee ID is also different, but we have used employee ID is a primary key, and then passport number, license number, those are used like a candidate key. Next, foreign key. Foreign key means used to point, sorry, used to point the primary key of a table. Like every employee in, for example, in the every employee work to specific department in a company, and the department have two different entities. So we can't store the different information, department information in the employee table. That's why we link these two different departments into one single table. For that, we have used the super key. And then alternate key. Alternate key means one or more attributes or a combination of attributes uniquely identifying. For that, we have used the alternate key. For example, we have employee relation has two attributes like employee ID and the PAN number. And in that, employee ID is chosen as a primary key and candidate key is the PAN number. Like that, we have used like a alternate key. And then composite key. Composite key means it consists of one or more primary keys that is concatenated with the primary key. Like employee role, project ID. Those are project table. From project table to employee table, we will concatenate with the employee ID. For that, we are using the composite key. And then artificial key. Artificial key is using to assign the data for artificial keys. When primary key is large or complex, it has no relationship with the table. For that, we will use the artificial key. These are the keys we are mostly used in the database. And then data types. Whenever we are creating the table, each column has a different type of data type, like different types like strings, numerics, date and time. For example, employee ID is having the integer, like that is having only numbers. Employee ID having only numbers. For that, we have used the numeric data type like integer, float, boolean, double. These are all having the sizes like integer having the 255 or 10 or 15, like that, anything we will use. And then employee name and the employee city, those are using the string characters. String data types means characters, varchar, binary, like that we will use. And one more thing is date and time data types. Date and time means we will insert the date, time, timestamp or year when the employee will join, like that. And then these are the operations in MySQL. CRUD operations. CRUD operations means create, read, update, and delete. These are the mainly operations we use to perform in the MySQL. CRUD means data manipulation. In the data manipulation language, we will use the CRUD operations. See, previously we have seen in the table, in that here we will use the CRUD operations, DML, insert, update, delete. Those are we will use in the CRUD operations. In the CRUD operations, first create. Create means insert data into table. How to insert data, employee data in the table. To create, insert statement we will use to create new data, like insert into table, which table we want to insert the table, what are the columns in the table, like employee ID, employee name, and then what are the values. Employee ID means 1 or 2, value 2 means name. Here we are using the employee name, right? Here. Yesterday, next. See, here employee table having the employee ID, name, city, and salary. We will insert the new data into the employee table. Insert into table name. What are the columns in the table? Like EMP ID, EMP name, city, and one more thing, we will use the capital letters or small letters, anything in the database. SQL queries, that is not mandatory for everything. Values. We need to insert new data into the data table. Employee ID is 6. Name, city, and salaries. This data we will insert into the table. And then next, read. What is the data is available in the read? That is called select. Select star from data, or else we will fetch only one employee data. Select star from table name, and where condition we need to use for the getting one employee data. Like this. Select star from table name or select star from table name, where condition we will use, where employee ID is equal to 1. If we are using this condition, we will get only one employee, where the employee ID is equal to 1, that data only we will get. And then third one is update. Update means to update the existing data in the MySQL. Like if we want to update the salary of an employee, we will use this condition. Like update table set column 1, like which column you want to update, and lot of one or two more columns also we will update in the using the update query, and where condition, where which column we need to update, like that. And then delete. Delete means we will delete entire data in the table, or one row or two rows, anything we will delete from the table. And then MySQL classes. These are the most important clauses we are using the MySQL. Like where clause means in the select query or update query or delete query, we are using the condition. For that, we will use the where clause. It specifies the position where we will need to do the operations, where we need to update, where we need to delete. Those are we using the where clause. And then distinct. Distinct means we need to remove duplicate records. For example, if an employee having lot of locations like Hyderabad, Delhi, but we need only who is working on the Hyderabad, we use the distinct. Select distinct from table where the employee city is Hyderabad. Like that, we will use the distinct class for that. And then from. From is the select query. In the select query, we will use the from class to fetch the data. And then order by. Order by means we will sort the records in ascending order or descending order. If employee salary is having lot of salary columns is there, we need to order the data, like which is having the smallest salary, which is having the highest salary. Like that, we use the order by query. Order by query, we will use an ascending or descending, but by default, descending it will take. And then group by. Group by means collect data from multiple records, and we need to group the result by one or more columns. And then the having means group by class. This is the group by class. We will group one or more columns, like employee salary having sum of or else count, sum. These functions we will use to group the table, group the column. In that, we are having minimum number, maximum number, count number. For that, we will use the having clause. Where for that we will use the where condition to return the true value. And MySQL, in that lot of functions, operations, clauses we have seen, and lot of things is there remaining. If it is possible, next week I will explain to you. Thank you.